Warren Buffett once said, "Don't just save what you have left after spending, but spend what you have left after saving." And no kidding, this advice hits the bullseye when you're navigating the world of money. Top of the saving priority list? That's right, it's your emergency fund. In our ever-changing world, you never know what life's going to chuck at you. Could be a sudden job loss or unexpected bills. Having a healthy emergency fund is like having a trusty life jacket in the sea of uncertainties. It gives you a safety net when you need it the most, helps you dodge the debt trap, and keeps you financially stable, come what may. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into everything you need to know about emergency funds. We'll walk you through how to kickstart your emergency fund, making sure you're well armed for whatever life throws at you. Before we begin, kindly consider subscribing and turning on notifications to stay updated with our helpful content. If you like what you see, a thumbs up would be much appreciated as an appreciation of our effort. Let's get started. What is an emergency fund? Alright, let's start with the basics. What is an emergency fund? This is a stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way. Think of it as your financial fire extinguisher, designed to put out life's unexpected fires. These could be anything from sudden medical bills and major car repairs to unexpected job loss. However, the importance of an emergency fund extends beyond just covering unexpected expenses. Here's where the real beauty of an emergency fund shines. Firstly, it provides you with financial stability. When you have an emergency fund, you have the means to weather financial storms. This is even more important considering the potential recession in 2023, as your emergency fund can provide the necessary cushioning to navigate through rough economic tides. Secondly, it prevents debt. Emergencies often lead to unplanned debt, but with an emergency fund, you have a safety net to fall back on. Instead of relying on credit cards or loans that accrue interest, you can cover the expenses yourself. This not only saves you from entering a cycle of debt, but also helps maintain your credit score. Finally, it gives you peace of mind. Knowing that you're financially prepared for unexpected events brings emotional stability and reduces stress. You can focus on managing the situation at hand rather than worrying about its financial implications. Given these benefits, it's alarming that many people still lack an adequate emergency fund. As of 2021, many Americans did not have the cash to handle even minor emergencies. That's why we want to emphasize the importance of an emergency fund. It's not just a good-to-have, it's a must-have for financial wellness. Remember, an emergency fund is not an investment, it's insurance. It's about safety, not growth. So it's time to start thinking about setting up an emergency fund if you haven't already. How much should you save? So now that we know what an emergency fund is and why it's essential, the next question is, how much should you save? This is where the emergency fund gets personal because the amount depends largely on your individual circumstances. Financial experts commonly recommend saving between 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This figure is a good starting point, but remember, it's not one size fits all. For some, it may be more, and for others, less. Your emergency fund should reflect your lifestyle and financial obligations. A good way to calculate this is to add up all your essential monthly expenses, such as rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, insurance, and any other must-pay bills. Then multiply that number by 3 to 6 based on your comfort level and job stability. For example, if your monthly expenses come to $2,000, then your emergency fund should ideally be between $6,000, which is 3 months of expenses, and $12,000, which is 6 months of expenses. However, if your job is less stable, you might want to aim for an even larger emergency fund, like 9 months to a year's worth of expenses. Bear in mind that the current macroeconomic conditions could also affect the size of your emergency fund. Given the potential economic uncertainty in 2023, it might be wise to lean towards saving more rather than less. While the final figure may seem daunting, it's important to remember that you don't have to hit your goal overnight. It's a gradual process, and what matters most is to start. Even a mini emergency fund to start with is better than none at all. And if you're enjoying this video and finding the information useful, remember to hit that like button. Your support helps us keep producing content that you want to watch. Our channel features a video that guides you on the ideal savings goals for each stage of life, ranging from your 20s to 60s. Take a moment to check it out. You'll find the link in the description below. Strategies to build your fund. Now that you understand what an emergency fund is and how much you should save, let's now discuss the strategies to help you achieve this goal. 1. Create a budget and set a monthly savings goal. A well-defined budget is the first step to financial success. It gives you a clear picture of your income, expenses, and how much you can realistically set aside each month for your emergency fund. Setting a monthly savings goal can give you a clear target to aim for and make the task seem less daunting. For example, if your goal is to save $12,000 in 2 years, that breaks down to saving $500 per month. 2. Automate your savings. One of the simplest ways to consistently add to your emergency fund is to automate the process. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your emergency savings account. Automating your savings ensures that you never forget to set aside the money and helps to reduce the temptation to spend it. 3. Increase your income. If you find that your current income leaves little room for savings, you might want to look for ways to increase your income. This could be through negotiating a raise, taking on freelance work, or even starting a side hustle. 4. Cut down on unnecessary expenses. Look at your current spending habits and identify areas where you could potentially cut back. This could be anything from dining out less frequently to canceling unused subscriptions. Remember, every little bit helps when you're trying to build an emergency fund. 5. Prioritize high-interest debt. While it's important to start saving for an emergency fund, it's equally crucial to prioritize paying off high-interest debt. The interest on such debts can quickly accumulate and derail your savings efforts. By paying these off as quickly as possible, you free up more money to contribute towards your emergency fund. 6. Save windfalls. Any unexpected money such as tax refunds, bonuses, or gifts can be put towards your emergency fund. This strategy can give your savings a significant boost and help you reach your goal quicker. 7. Adjust your tax withholding. If you tend to receive a large tax refund each year, you may want to consider adjusting your tax withholding. This could result in a higher paycheck, which could then be funneled towards your emergency fund. 8. Review and adjust your savings plan regularly. As your financial circumstances change, it's essential to reassess your savings plan. For example, if you get a raise, consider increasing the amount you contribute to your emergency fund each month. And 9. Consider existing assets. Some people overlook the assets they already have when building an emergency fund. You could consider your existing assets such as stocks, bonds, or mutual funds as part of your emergency fund, especially if they are easily accessible. Remember, building an emergency fund is not a race but a marathon. Every step, no matter how small, gets you closer to your goal. And if you want to learn each strategy such as saving, proper budgeting, and considering assets, we've got lots of videos for you. Check the description box later for the links. Where to store your emergency fund. Choosing where you keep your emergency fund is just as important as deciding to start one. You need a place that is safe, easily accessible, and where your money can grow, even if just a little. Here are several options updated to reflect the financial landscape in 2023. High-yield savings accounts. These types of accounts offer higher interest rates than typical savings accounts, allowing your money to grow at a faster rate. Moreover, they are usually fully insured up to a certain amount, which adds to their appeal. Remember, it's crucial to ensure that your account is easily accessible so you can quickly get to your funds in an emergency. Money market accounts. Money market accounts are like high-yield savings accounts, but they might require a higher minimum balance. They often come with a debit card and check writing abilities, which can be useful in an emergency. Checking accounts. While checking accounts typically don't offer the same interest rates as high-yield savings accounts or CDs, they provide quick and easy access to your money. This can be a good option if you want to have immediate access to your emergency funds. Mutual funds. While generally considered a riskier option, you might consider keeping part of your emergency fund in a conservative mutual fund. While these investments can lose money, they can also provide a higher return than savings accounts. It's important to consider your risk tolerance and financial situation before choosing this option. Online banks. Online banks often offer higher interest rates than their brick-and-mortar counterparts. They're accessible anywhere you have internet access, and you can often transfer money quickly and easily between your accounts. Roth IRA. While not a traditional choice, if you're eligible, you might consider using a Roth IRA as a last resort emergency fund. Contributions can be withdrawn at any time without penalty, but any growth or earnings cannot be withdrawn without penalties until you reach the age of 59. Remember that withdrawing from your retirement savings should always be the last resort. Short-term investments. These include options like bonds, debt mutual funds, and short-term deposits. They provide modest returns and are relatively safe. However, these should be used judiciously, considering the accessibility during emergencies. When choosing where to store your emergency fund, consider factors like how quickly you can access the money, how safe it is, and whether it has the potential for growth. It's okay to split your emergency fund between different options to balance accessibility and growth. If you found these strategies useful, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with others who might benefit from it. To wrap it up, an emergency fund isn't just a safety net. It's your path to financial stability and peace of mind. Remember, starting an emergency fund as soon as possible is key. So, have you started setting up your emergency fund? Do you have your own strategies? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with others. And don't forget to check out our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.